All right, guys, and we are back. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, as I said before, we are going to try and build ourselves a discard deck for Dread. See if we can do it. Now, obviously, the hero of the discard, the hero we want, is none other than Gorhawk the Chopper, because he's the only one that actually benefits from discarding. When any of your beast cards are discarded, draw one card. That's fine. So we're going to make ourselves probably a Beast Umbron deck for discarding. Now, we're going to want any card that says discard, which is probably a lot because it's all a discard pile. Baronwood Butcher is obviously going to be an amazing one because we're going to discard some cards. Putrid Behemoth is an amazing one because it's a beast and it discards. Scapegoat. It's a Creeple. We're going to say, sure, we're going to try it. Mostly because there's an Umbron that can search for Creeple cards in here. There's an Umbron that can search for Creeple cards. Now, these say just discard a card, right? Yeah, so Swamp Peddler is actually going to be really nice in this deck. Because we can just discard our combos that we just don't care about, I guess. Whatever, fine with us. Venom Feeder is amazing because if we're discarding cards, we're going to want to be able to bring cards back. Pretty good to me. What else? I think now that we're going into this, we're going to lead into the Umbrons. Because Umbrons are just really good, and I don't want that up anymore. I think, like, 2 Shady Recruiters are fine. No, that's my bar. That's my bar. There is... Where are you, sir? The Umbron Synergistic buff. It's like the Watchrest Trader. Is going to be just a really good card. If I can find it. There we go. I feel like 2 Watchrest Traders are fine. We're going to want at least 3 Barkeeps. Because if we are discarding, we're going to want to draw, right? We're going to want to draw. Now, we're also going to want some beasts to discard. Draga Hunter is just a really good one. I feel like a Draga Hoarder could be fine in here too. So Shady Recruiter looks for Creeble cards. It's not a lot of Creeble cards, so maybe actually we take the Shady Recruiters out. Those don't feel that strong. We can put in the, if we're running Umbrons, we get to run the Fancy Dancy Eternal Hunter. Because these Eternal Hunters can now look for Umbron patrons and Baronwood Butchers and play them for free. Now, the Shade of Scapegoat actually does not feel that strong in this deck. It does not. In which case... Do I run Bjorn Beast cards, or do I run Necro Dreadlings for Graveyard Recursion? Actually, I should probably run Shadow Puppets, huh? Should probably run Shadow Puppets. That would feel pretty good to me. Wow, I always forget those. I always do. Okay, so I'm going to take out that, include that. The Scapegoat. That's what I wanted out of here. So I can put back in that Draga Hoarder. So... My thought is that Umbron Patron, really not that strong of a card. I wasn't too impressed with it, at least in this deck. It is 2 healing and it's a card draw. Eternal Hunter could look for it. And then... I like Venom Feeders because they can bring back Swamp Peddlers. And if I'm discarding my combos, I feel fine and dandy with those. Essentially, this is a deck where I just want to discard and just hit him pretty hard with action cards while drawing. And that means I want beasts in here. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So actually... kicking those out. We can go ahead and put in some Gorge Stalkers for beasts. Because with Gorehawk the Chopper, if we discard beasts, we draw cards. That's amazing. That's really amazing. And essentially now we're not running any new cards. We're not running any new cards. So... we probably should add back in those Umbrons. Feels really funny to say that, like, we gotta add these Umbrons back in. Probably don't need a Gorge Stalker. The only shadow cards in here are my shadow puppets. Really? That's interesting. Maybe I only need 2 bark. How did that happen? Thank you, Rocket Star. All right. Part of me, like, Umbron Patron, like, it's supposed to be made to go into a discard deck, right? It's supposed to be made to go into a discard deck. But discards right now just not that strong for Dread. Unfortunately. Hopefully we get new cards that make it stronger. Umbron Sergeant, that's one that I kind of want to... I want to know if it works. If Umbron Sergeant could work. Ever. A heavy Umbron deck, and I feel like we'd have to go side into, like, Undead. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, discarding cards. there's not enough benefit to it, if you know what I mean. At least yet. We still have all of wave 5 to go. My thought here is, do I ever run like Caribid Scavenger in an Umbron deck and be like Umbron Insects with Graveyard? Is that ever a thing? Is that ever a thing? Part of me says it's not. Yeah, the Sacrificial Pit. It's just like there's so much good Umbron synergy with Undead that running Umbron with Beast feels a little weird. Feels just a little weird. But essentially, I want to be like, I want to discard my combos to get my Swamp Peddlers. We're playing another Swamp Peddler deck, essentially. So, if for some reason no, I need buffs that have shadow in them. Like Shadow Form. I need Shadow Form to be able to pay for all this stuff. Cursed Grave? I don't think so. Cursed Grave is more for a heavy discard, like if you were playing the Creeble discard aspect, where this one is just you discard for value, and you cycle through your deck because Gorhawk the Chopper is discarding Beast to draw a card. So every time I discard a Beast, I'm drawing a card off of it. So I can use Putrid Behemoth to discard a Gorge Stalker, a Draga Hunter, or a Crushing Charger. I can use Baronwood Butcher to do the same thing, and then I'll just draw my cards. And it's more of like a tempo deck is what I'm building, rather than a gimmicky Cursed Grave. I really do feel like Cursed Grave and those cards are not that good. Any cards that store that can be just removed is way too much value for your opponent to get a buff removal on it and ruin like 2 or 3 of your turns that you've been building up for. It just feels really bad. Yeah, Umbron Patron. In my opinion, this should not be a rare card. The rarity on this should not be rare. 2 healing, draw a card. Like, you get the same thing on that Tantosian. Or not the Tantosian, the Chimchu. The one that's like 2 healing, 1 damage, draw a card. Yes, this one, like, if you discard it, you heal for 2. Cool. But essentially, it's the same as a common card. I don't know why this one is rare. If this said, if it was discarded to heal for 2 and it gets shuffled back into your deck, then I could see this being rare. That's the type of card mechanic that I'm really waiting for right now, is a card that says if it's discarded, it gets shuffled back into your deck. Because I think that card alone will make a discard archetype work. Until we get a card like that, I don't think that discard will be any real strength compared to the undead or the abyss package decks that we're getting. Just want to lay down? Want to lay down in Daddy's lap? I got my headphones. There we go. But yeah, essentially, like, all I did was build the beast thrower that me and Freshton built a while ago, and just added in 2 Umbron patrons. And even then, I don't feel like it's worth it. Even then, I don't feel like Umbron patron is worth it, because really, you don't want to discard your Umbron cards. Your Umbron cards are the cards that you want to play, so that you can like dig through your deck or use those cards to discard. Having the Kriebel card be one that was discarded to deal 2 damage felt okay. Because it was a race, like a family package that had Graveyard Recursion in it. You had the Epic Banquets and all that stuff. Putting it on Umbron Patron just doesn't feel right. Just it feels off. It would have felt really good. This Umbron Patron would have felt really good if this was a Beast card, because then it would work with Gorehawk Chopper. Like, it's just there's so much about it that just doesn't make sense to me. But we are missing a plethora of Wave 5 cards as well. So maybe it's actually a lot better than I'm thinking. I still got to give my Wave 5 review of these Battle Pack cards, because in all honesty, I'm not that like pumped or hyped. Why are you biting me? You clamped down on my forearm for no reason. Like that. Why? You chose to sit here. Yeah, it's just like, they're not really enticing me to build a lot of fun decks. They're trying to upgrade a lot. The heroes are what's really enticing me to do anything. And that Vexbane pretty much came out to be an Abyss package deck that had some really cool card synergies in it, so I could take out a few of the Abyss cards and plug some other ones in. But yeah, the Umbron Patron really isn't doing it for me. In which case, I'm gonna go on to the next cards, because if that's what Umbron Patron came out to, was the same deck that I built right when Wave 4 came out, I can pass on that. I apologize for making the deck that I'm not even gonna play. But action cards for Wave 5. These Venom Masters and these Stalking Horrors, these seem like fun cards to try. For the Umbron Undead package that we're going to try here. I do want to get my Umbron cards in here. Umbron Sergeant, I'm actually going to try and run 2 Umbron Sergeants in here. Umbron Necrolords are really good too. And I think maybe 2 Fortune Masters could be fine. Could be fine. Maybe we look into... Maybe we take the Fortune Masters out and we add in some of these Umbron cards. We could add in maybe the Thieves. The Thieves are fine. Like 2 Thieves. I feel like Sergeant should be fine. We're also going to put the Watchdress Trader, so I don't feel like I need the Barkeeps or any of those. So we'll try and build this deck here. Spectral Widows are almost a must, because these are amazing undead poison buffs. Pestilent Spectre? I feel like maybe 2 Lurking Horrors. Pestilent Spectre I feel is fine. Let's, before we all forget, let's add in the Shadow Puppets. Because I always forget those. I always do. So Stalking Horror, move undead cards. So now I just want to get undead cards. Bone Reapers are really nice to have. Shamblers are really nice. These Eternal Hunters, I feel like if I just add 2 of them in here, fine. Shambler's a really good one that I want to get. So let's see what cards we can take out here. Yeah, this is move 1 card from your discard pile. I wish this was also discard. Like, it discard a card from your deck. I wish it said discard on it, because then it would be really nice to add into a discard Umbron. Is this a poison? No, it's a shadow. What is the Venom Master? Venom Master actually doesn't feel that strong unless you have Spectre Widows. And I definitely want to add in the Venom Feeders. I want to try and get at least 2 of those in here. Eternal Hunters. Actually, Eternal Hunters feel really bad in this. It feels funny to say that, but they do. Umbra Necrolord, I think, is only specific to buffs, right? Yeah, move a buff into play. Venom Master is only specific to buffs. Yeah, Eternal Hunter just feels bad. Maybe 2 Venom Feeders is fine. We don't need 3 of them. I do want to get in some Shamblers. Shamblers are really good undead cards. Shamblers are just really good undead buffs. I want to try and get in 1 more. Maybe 2 Stalking Horrors. Because if they kill Stalking Horror, you just kill 2 of your own cards. And it feels bad to do that. Now we need a hero. I need a hero. Deathshifter Zelina? How many undead cards do I have in here? 7? Nope, nope, not her. But we'll just... It might just be High Curator Arwen. In all honesty, it might just be High Curator Arwen. Or Talia. Actually, Talia is not a bad choice. Talia can spin forward the Stalking Horror, which is really nice. She can spin forward Shambler and Bone Reaper late in the game too, and Spectre Widow. We should have enough card draw with like Watchrest Trader, and our Umbron Sergeants. Actually, Pestilent Spectre doesn't feel good. Does not feel good. What do we want in here? Maybe a 3rd Stalking Horror. Stalking Horror is actually not that bad. Not for this deck. It's not bad at all. We have, what, 10 poison cards? Watchrest Trader is nice. Do we just add in a 3rd Lurking Horror? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Or a Corvid of Shade. Do we ever just put in a Corvid? Oh, or a 3rd Shambler. We could just put in a Shambler. Shamblers are really good. The Venom Master is just like, meh. I do like the Corvid of Shade, though. Put in 2 of those, 2 of those. It is 2 damage, draw 2 cards. Bone Reaper is just really good at healing. That's why I'm skeptical about pulling that out. Actually, yeah, take out a Stalking Horror, add in a 3rd Bone Reaper. So Stalking Horror, like, out of all of them, Stalking Horror is probably the one that I'm most interested in. Because it's really cool to be able to legitimately put an undead card, or just move any card from your deck to your discard pile. and then damage your target, move an undead buff into play. Like this actually makes me want to play a put like all my combos in my discard pile and lay the Swamp Peddlers, like that kind of deck, and just cycle through my deck really quick. Actually, after I build this, oh man, I want to play this for a little bit. Maybe we'll build that later in the show. Later in the show is just a Swamp Peddler Stalking Horror build. We'll try that. That sounds interesting to me. But right now, Devour Soul, Death Shroud, Horrific Manifestation, Soul Whale, Raising the Dead. Just like Soulstorm actually does feel nice. Maybe Soulstorm over Soul Whale. Maybe. How many Umbron cards are in here? I gotta know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's only 8 Umbron Sergeants bad. Umbron Sergeants are really bad. Take those out for Umbron Barkeeps. Maybe take a Watch Rust Trader out, add in a 3rd Venom Feeder. Venom Feeder's more reliable. Feels fine. Feels fine. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually fine with this. We're more of a consistent deck. I don't want to go ahead and add in the, I really don't want to add in the Shackle or the Soulstorm. We don't have that much undead. It's not a full undead deck. And if we're just being consistent, if we get a Soul Whale out for 2 or 3 turns, we're just going to out-tempo them like crazy. So this is fine. This is A-okay with me. Call off the new Umbron Undead with the Venom Masters and the Stalking Horrors. Try this for a little bit. We'll try this. There we go. We'll see how this deck does. Probably not as well as I'd like it to do. Probably not. But we'll see. We'll see. We're in silver. Nothing wrong with silver. And actually, for you guys, I should put the deck list up, because I like doing that for you guys. And we'll see what we can get away with this deck. But I do feel like building the new Dread, one the discard, and puts in the Swamp Peddlers, that could be fun. So we'll do this. That could be a fun and innovative way to build. Just see if it works. Mind, oh, that is not right. No, come on. Mind you, consistency is what has been winning. So be consistent with your decks, and you'll do fine. No reason to go full gimmicky unless you're playing a super long game, or unless the gimmick is consistent. So we'll do that. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, now we'll go into play. Now we'll go in and play. Already got a match. Not bad. Not bad for us. Sparkly Bull. Sparkly Bull 666 it is. Alright. We'll see what he does here. An Electro Hopper. Oh my word. The bane of my existence. How has he done this? I can't believe he's done this. And I'll heal for 2 and draw some cards. Ooh, okay, Watch Rest Trader's nice. Watch Rest Trader's a nice one. Alright, alright. The Umbreon Thief won't heal me, so I think I want to do it next turn. I think I'll pass draw. Ooh, I can move the Poison Lurker into play with this. Oh, what's he gonna do? Shadow Puppet, probably? Alright, alright. I saw it. I mean, it was fine. It's fair. It's fair. I'll move a buff into play. And I think I'll pass. I could Umbreon Thief. Yeah, Umbreon Thief. Draw a card. Nice. Picked up a Shadow Puppet that he sent away. He sent it away, and we got it back. He could Thunder Slug now. He does, he does. Look at that. Probably this one, so I can't draw. Makes sense to me. I have a unique question here. This is a poison buff, and it doesn't say your other poison buffs. So I'm actually okay with this. He can't remove these, and Thunder Slug is just nothing. I'll wait till he tries and lays another buff. Ooh, Stalking Horror could be good. Stalking Horror could be really good. What? Hold on. Can we go ahead and read this card? It does not say your other poison buffs. It says your poison buffs. This is a poison buff. Play Fusion. I would have Shadow Puppeted that if that's the case. I would have Shadow Puppeted that if that was the case. Can we discuss how I just got rickrolled? Yeah, I'll discard that. And then I can Venom Feeder it if I really wanted to. Actually, yeah, I'll do this. Next turn I can put a Bone Reaper into play, and then I'll Venom Feeder to get that Spectral Widow back. But, anyone else realize a little text error on that card but me? Am I the only one that's like, what? It's a glitch? I mean, it could be a glitch, or it could be one of those things that just says other cards, and they didn't put it on the text. Like, it's coded the way that the new Spectral Web is. And I'll wait a turn to put it in with that, because that feels good to do. Feels really good to do. Sure, man. Sure, right away. Right away. Murky waters. You don't say. You don't say. Alright, well. I'll put in the bugs. Thank you, Rocket Star. I appreciate that. So this is gonna... Does it put it into play or into my hand? Into play. So... Yeah, it's gonna put this back into play. I gotta draw two, see if I can get an undead. I'll just draw two. I'm fine here. Feels a little bad. That card. Well, all right. I mean, that card is gonna go. That card's gonna go for sure. I don't care if that hopper's out. I really don't. Okay. I need to find ways to get card draw in this. This is... I need to have a large hand almost at all times with this deck. But I do like this one. This one, the Stalking Horror, I like that card design. I think that's a very well designed card. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's see what he has. Because now what I can do is I can Watch Rest Trader into the Umbron Necrolord. Alright, alright. I have a Shadow Puppet for you guys next turn. You're fine. You're fine. Beautiful. Actually... I'm trying to think here. If I put this into play... Just put that there. I have one shadow card away. I can lay Raising the Dead. Oh my word, I can. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can do it. But I got a Shadow Puppet those. I have to remember that Shadow Puppet is pretty important in this matchup. And it moves, what, my last undead card? Which would be the Lurking Horror when it expires. But I think dealing 6 damage right now is pretty good. Next turn, he's got to heal or kill me, or I have Shambler Lethal next turn. Feels pretty good, too, having Shambler Lethal in hand with Talia. Okay. Feels pretty fine. I didn't get the card draw I wanted, but I was just consistent. I was just consistent with what I needed to do. Watch Rest Traders were amazing. The Stalking Horror, it never got removed, so it was pretty good for us. The Venom Master. Venom Master was a complete dud in this. Complete dud. Like, it doesn't do what I thought it was going to do. I thought it doesn't do it. It does not do it. But yeah. So there's that. Part of me Okay, thoughts going through my head here. This deck I feel like I built before. It's like 2 new cards. Not too different. Not too different. I want to build a deck. Now follow me on this. Follow me down this wonderful dream that we're all having. 3 Stalking Horrors. As it's move 1 card from your discard pile to your deck. Or deck to your discard pile, right? Any card you want. Beautiful. Beautiful. What if we moved combos? What if we moved combos? In particular, we add in Storm so that we can add in the new Stormbringer. Because if we discard a combo and then we just suck it back to our hand, does that feel pretty good? Feels pretty good to me. We could also put in Supercharged Twisters. Because if the last card is a combo, we can rotate a buff forward. I thought, is Bug Rider? Yeah, Bug Rider. If we have Bug Rider out, and Stalking Horror just kills our combos, and then we just start laying buffs. See what I'm saying? Feels pretty dirty, doesn't it? I think just a Storm Blaster could be fine. Now in here, we're definitely going to want Swamp Peddlers. We're definitely going to want probably like 2 Blood Pact Redeemers. Actually, maybe 2 and then 2 Stormbringers are fine. 3 Shadow Puppets feels good. Because moving your last undead buff into play, feels fine, I guess. But really, we're just using it to ditch cards, right? We're simply using it. Wranglethor, what am I building? I'm building a brand new themed idea where essentially Stalking Horror, what it reads here, is as it enters to play, move 1 card from your discard pile or from your deck to your discard pile. Essentially, Play Fusion's like, yeah, they'll move an undead buff. to the discard pile and then get it into play. And I'm like, what if I move a combo? And with combos in the discard pile, I can then have Bug Riders just do some massive damage. I can have Swamp Peddlers do some massive damage. And then I can have Stormbringer and Bloodpact Redeemer to just bring the combos back. What if I do something like that? And in my mind, I'm like, Frank, you're a genius. So, and that's really all I got. That's as furthest I got is Frank, you're a genius. Because I feel like a genius. I feel like someone who has it all figured out. So we're going to do something like this. We're just going to do something like this. And we're going to want Venom Feeders to obviously bring back the Swamp Peddlers. Because those feel fine. Those feel fine to do. As they should. And now we can just get in some... I guess just some buffs, right? Because if we have Bug Rider out... Do we include the Abyss package and just use abilities? Is that what we do? Are we that kind of people? Are we that kind of people? Or do we just like Drago Hoarder with the Bug Rider? Drago Hoarder with the Bug Rider feels pretty fun to me, doesn't it? Doesn't it just? Say no to the Abyss package? Good call. We are not Abyss package people. Says you. How do you know we're not? Everyone just, no Abyss package. We're not doing it. Greshu, we're not doing it, man. We're not. So, with that being said, we should probably add in our Tantosians, huh? For searching for that item. You know what I mean? Searching for that item feels pretty good. We need a hero. I need a hero. What? Do we just run Talia again? Just so she can, like, spin forward? I feel like we take out Drago Hoarder then if we do that, so she can spin forward some undead cards. Do I really have the Firework one? Really? I didn't think I pulled it. I didn't think I did. Hey, Fresh, and welcome back. We could... I feel like if we do that, yeah, we take Drago Hoarder out and we put in either Shambler... Spectral Widow actually can't be increased. And if we're going with increase, Spectral Widow's actually not that good. So I feel like we take those out. We add in Pestilence Spectre. That could be fun. And maybe just a Shambler. Just... two Shamblers, two Bone Reapers. 2 Shamblers, 2 Bone Reachers. Okay, so freshen to catch you up on our amazingly fun, weird, and wacky deck building. We're taking the stalking horror concept here that says as this enters play, move 1 card from your deck to your discard pile. And then it says rotation, deal damage to your target. Corner 4, move your last discarded undead buff into play. Now, logically, Play Fusion's probably like, what they'll do is they'll move an undead buff to their discard pile and then get it back with stalking horror. What I'm doing is I'm going to just move combos to the discard pile and have Bug Rider sit out. And Bug Rider's going to increase all my damage when a combo's on top. And it's just going to cycle through all of that. And it's going to make me feel really happy. And then once again, I can discard the combos and I can then Stormbringer them back and feel good about that. Or I can Blood Pact Redeemer them back and I can feel good about that. Part of me, however, I think Blood Pact Redeemer moves it to your deck, yeah. Whereas with Stormbringer, I can bring it right back to my hand and play it again and again and again. I feel like we're gonna need like at least 1 Necro Dreadling in here. Because they're gonna kill my Bug Riders, and it's gonna feel really bad. So I think maybe 1 Venom Feeder. Actually, yeah, Venom Feeders aren't that good in it. Well, Venom Feeders bring back Swamp Peddlers. That's right, because we're also running Swamp Peddlers. And we're just going to want some Graveyard Recursion in the form of a Necro Dreadling. Now, this deck does not have card draw, which is a very sad thing. Which makes me wonder, do I run High Curator Arwen? It feels bad to say that. But we need card draw, because if we're stuck and dead for a few turns, we're out of it. We're out of it, and we're going to get out-tempoed. Let's also finish putting these combos into play, or in our deck that we want. At least I remember the puppets. Exactly, I did. Perfect Manifestation. Shadow Form for the healing. Toxic Haunt pays for everything. How many undead do I have in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Soulwell might be fine just for combo payment, is what I'm thinking. A third of the deck is undead. Like I said, if I just get it off, it feels pretty good. Feels pretty good to me. I don't really want to add in the... Can't think of it. Overload? I could add an Overload. But it'd be really hard to pay for because we really just want Bug Rider and all that stuff to do. Because, like, here's my thought. Here's my thought on this. The way this deck probably is supposed to work, like the way this theme is supposed to work, is that all of these undead cards that I'm running, you swap it for the Abyss package and it runs 10 times better. And then you have High Curator Arwen, just draw your cards. Because then, now keep in mind this. Keep in mind, I know we're not doing it. But then Elemental Surge becomes a really good card in this deck. Because all of the Abyss cards, well, almost all of them, are elementals. So one of your elemental buffs leaves play, it deals damage. So this becomes a card that you can actually run in the deck. That's where I'm like, it's probably better. We all know it's probably better with the Abyss package. We all probably know it is. Because everything is better with the Abyss package. Is it this one? Is this the one I made? Yes, it is. Okay. But I love the idea of Swamp Peddlers being an all-star card. I love the idea of the Swamp Peddler being the all-star card after my Umbron Peddler deck that I made with Astral. Because Swamp Peddler was just amazing. But I do like the simple fact that with Talia Fireborn, I guess, in this one, I could just with Bug Rider out, get a combo on top, and then lay like Shambler, spin it forward for 10 damage. Because that's just really good. Actually, no, it would be 12 damage because this increases it by 3. So dirty. So dirty. You really only need one Bug Rider out. That's the beauty of the deck. Is if you just get one Bug Rider out, just one. And then with Stalking Horror, put a combo right on top. Even then, you can Talia the Stalking Horror because it is an undead card. It's an undead card. For 10 damage. For 10 damage. Isn't that glorious? It's so good. I have no idea how this deck is going to work. No idea in the slightest. But I'm excited. I'm very excited. I do like Winds of Plague. I think Winds of Plague is a very fun card. It's a very strong combo, too. Like, an 18-point swing to make them discard cards. It's pretty good to me. They can go ahead and remove it, too. And if they're like, okay, you removed it. Cool. I have ways to bring that stuff back. I don't care. I don't care. So we'll try this deck. I guess Santosian Blacksmith could just be another kill for Stalking Horror. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of ways to utilize the extra Tantosians. Part of me says maybe I don't need Stormblaster. I can run something else. Actually, that's a good idea. I have an idea. Because there is an item called the Viserys Crown. Where, because my deck is very buff heavy, if they remove my buffs, I can draw cards. That's awesome. I love drawing cards. Drawing cards feels good to me. Yeah, feels good. And then I'll go ahead and add in the, I gotta take a card out now. That one. There we go. Pest Inspector's gone. Now add in the lightning item of the Crackling Rod. Stalking Peddler. Because it runs off Stalking Horror and Swamp Peddler. We did it. We built a Stalking Peddler deck. I will get this deck list up for you real quick. And then I'm going to use the bathroom real quick because I didn't do that on my short break, and I do apologize. But we're going to try this deck. We're going to try this deck and watch it fail miserably. What do you guys say? What do you guys say? It doesn't feel like it's going to be competitive at all, but if it is, that's awesome. Because there is no healing in this deck. There's no healing, there's no damage prevention, there's nothing. That's where I'm sitting here like, man, this deck is going to fail because it has no defense. So, give me 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. That's right, I said that because I'm a classy man. I think it was right here under Stormbringer. I don't think I had. Yeah, perfect. Oh man, now my head's cut off by the deck list because we made an official, like, super long deck list. Feels cool. All right. So guys, I'm going to go to the bathroom. If you, when I come back, if you guys have any recommendations of what to cut out so we can survive, because this does feel like a very either tempo to late game, but like I said, there's no healing, there's no damage prevention, and I feel like we should include some of that, right? Like maybe we take one of these things out and add in a Devour Soul for healing. Like maybe we take the Toxic Haunt out and add in a Devour Soul. Which actually I'm going to do right now. That sounds so much better than what I'm doing. But then again, we want our combos to go to the discard pile, so we can't really rely on our combos the entire time. We cannot rely on them the entire time. We do have Bone Reapers for healing. We have Necro Dreadling for healing. And we have Venom Feeder for healing. But outside of that, we have no damage prevention, no nothing. So if you guys come up with something, let me know. I'll be right back. I'm going to leave this up on the screen, so one sec. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, did any of you guys have any recommendations on how to survive? Like healing, damage prevention, anything that we should probably change out in here? I don't know. Because there's also, mind you, there's also no card draw. There's no card draw, no healing, no defending. Part of me says the Pestilent Spectres do not need to stay. The Pestilent Spectres don't need to stay. We're already changing it. We haven't even started playing it. Take off Legacy because there's no reason for Legacy to be on. Do we just add in like Soul Thief? Or maybe we Stalking Sippin'? Or Wall of Bones. Try it first and see what you didn't use. I feel like I'm going to add in... I'm going to add in the Wall of Bones. I'm just going to do that real quick. And we'll go from there. Because we do have a bunch of really big spike damage, and I want to survive is my main priority. So go ahead and save this real quick. Then we'll jump in. Then we'll jump into the game. We'll play some Light Seekers. We'll get our day going. It'll be great. It will be fantastic. All right. Let's go in. Let's go in and we'll try this makeshift of a deck. What do we call it? The Stalking Peddler. Yes. Hold on, I got an email. Might be important. I don't know. We'll have to check it. Yeah, I kickstarted a board game way back last year, and it finally got published and sent out to me. But I moved, so my address is different than what the Kickstarter was. So I tried kind of like, no, that's not my address anymore. And they're like, okay, we'll see if we can get it changed. And it already shipped out. So I'm trying to get in contact with them. Like, and my old apartment. Be like, hey, do you have the package? If so, can I come pick it up? That'd be super great. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna try sending him. I'm gonna send him one more email this morning too. Cause I really want that board game before Gen Con. I really do. Sorry guys about this. 1 second. Actually, why am I doing this on my phone? I'm on my computer. Do this 10 times faster through typing it. Alright, well, now I'll play a game. Now I'll play a game. I'll go back to the email. Let me know if my forehead gets cut out by this, in case, like, you know, this is better for you. Alright. Let's see what kind of crazy shenanigans. Walter Bishop. Oh god, with a High Curator Arwen. We're gonna die! Oh, but it's gonna be so great. So great. Alright. Wow, 2 Tantosians. Back to back to back, huh? Hello, how are you doing today? No, we'll get the Crackling Rod in. Feels like the right thing to do. And then we're just gonna pass. Winds of Plague right off the bat! Oh! Feels good. Feels good to have. Mind you, it's gonna cost us the Stormbringer. Ooh, okay. That's pretty dirty. But I feel like now is the time to do it. Just draw some cards. Get this out of my hand. We'll draw 2, take 2. A 3rd blacksmith. Are you for real? Alright guys, what did I do? What have I done to draw all 3 blacksmiths in the top 10 cards? I mean, yeah, I have 2 items and it's really good, but like, come on! We're supposed to be testing this thing. The Spectral Widow. Oh, well. I mean, we could just die. Could just die. But I want to see. I think we're actually going to need the Devour Soul. We're going to need it. Okay. It's a Wall of Bones. Maybe he removes it. Maybe he Shadow Puppets it. Probably not this turn. But he's going to want to do it eventually. In which case, I'm going to... Oh, God. I'm going to take 4 damage from Roaming Zombie. I think I'm putting down Wall of Bones, in all honesty, so I can... Okay, there's a Shadow Puppet. And a Stormbringer. Guys, we're the best. We're so good at this game. We're so good at this game. And then we won't draw a card, and Shambler will come into play. We even have the cards for Devour Soul. But mind you, look at this. We have no cards in hand, and we have been pressured the entire time. This is where it comes into play, where we are, like, we need card draw to get to our cards. We need healing. Like, maybe we need to put in some Umbron Barkeeps for card draw, because clearly we need card draw. I think we're... he's going to draw 2 cards. He's going to draw so many cards. Do I Wall of Bones and pass? No, I think I wait for him to put the Abyss stuff down. There's another shadow puppet. Actually, that's my first shadow puppet, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, first shadow puppet. All right. We're golden on that. Okay, good call on the No Abyss. But... okay. Now I'm okay shadow puppeting these. Now I'm okay. Would you rather see all blacksmiths in the top 10 or the bottom 10? You have me there. You have me there. But good old Walter Bishop. Alright, alright. Like, I'm just going to be drawing cards for a while here. I'm having a lot of dead turns, which is really bad with a tempo deck like the Abyss Package deck. Wall of Bones. Okay. There's no poison in here yet, so Venom Feeder is essentially a dead card. Okay. Spectral Widow. Feels bad. Feels bad. I think I Devour Soul this, in all honesty. I don't think I can just let it sit around like that. I need the healing too, so the healing is fine to get. Feels bad. Feels bad. Maybe the right answer. Feels really bad. Feels really bad. I'll say maybe the right answer is to not splash lightning into Dread, but slash Shadow into Storm. Maybe that's actually the play. Because there is a Storm one that allows me to use 6 combos. Isn't the Peddler... oh, you're right. The Peddler is poison. Shadow and poison into Storm? And a roaming zombie. Alright, well. At least I can draw 2 and not have to worry about it. Okay. Okay. Here's where things get a little interesting. If Bug Rider stays good. Oh, actually, the Wall of Bones is going away. Son of a... alright. I won't get that nice turn. Oh, no, because, yeah, I can... never mind. Are you for real right now? Are you for flipping real? Draw cards and take no damage, I guess. Oh, the Wall of Bones kills me right now. The Wall of Bones absolutely destroys me right now. I can Horrific Manifestation. which might just be what I have to do. No combos in hand, of course. Of course. I could just be in a lot of trouble here. I got a Swamp Petal. That's nice. So how many combos? There's 2 combos in the discard pile. I don't think there's anything I can do here. Yeah. No, there's nothing. I'm gonna be at 1. I can Venom Feeder. But that Wall of Bones hurts so much. This contamination is it just killed me. It just killed me. There's no reason to keep doing it. The contamination. That contamination is brutal, and I couldn't remove it. Yeah. Yeah. So, I need more buff removal, is what I need. Because I need more control. I need more control on the board. But if we're already splicing in Lightning for the Bug Riders, I mean, I don't necessarily need Stormbringers. I don't necessarily need them. We take out the Crown. What do we add in? Do we add in Thunder Slugs? Do we add in Thunder Slugs? It feels bad if we're adding in buff removal. Because what if we're not going against buff decks, right? Like that's the thing. What if we're not going against buff decks? But I feel like if we just add in Skyrider and 2 Thunder Slugs, it should feel a little better. It's a lot more control. Do you abandon this for the Storm version? I don't necessarily think so. I don't necessarily think so. Because I do like the turn of, like, Bug Rider. Next turn, Stalking Horror, put a combo on top. Use Talia to spin Stalking Horror for 10 damage. And then Stalking Horror maybe puts in a Shambler. Or puts it into puts it into play when it goes to the last corner if they don't remove it. So that I can put in Shambler for free. And then I can Talia spin Shambler for 12. And get a really nice swing turn like that. For just a lot of burst damage, and then like I can 12 and then Peddler for however much because it's a combo on top. So I do feel like it's a very bursty deck. It just needs healing, and it needs prevention. So I don't actually think I need Bone Reapers. I need more Wall of Bones, I feel. Wall of Bones were really, really crucial. And I just need healing. I just need healing. Like Soul Thief. Venom Feeder actually doesn't feel that good in this deck. Yeah, I can bring back Swamp Peddlers, but like by the time I lay my Swamp Peddler, I should be winning. You know what I mean? Which actually, maybe if I just get card draw, I don't need healing. So if I put in the Barkeeps, I should be fine. So cards that I really want to get are early game is like Shambler, Wall of Bones to keep me alive, obviously the Tantosians, to look for all this stuff. But like, yeah, Stalking Horror, Swamp Peddlers, and Bug Riders are the cards that are just gonna really cinch the game for me. But I need to have cards in here that make my opponent kill buff removal. So I feel like another Shambler is good. Do I need the Necro Dreadling then? Do I need the Necro Dreadling then? I really want 3 Shamblers in here. I don't think I do. Well, maybe if they kill my Skyrider. Do I take out 1 Redeemer? I think I do. I think I take out a Redeemer. I add in a 3rd Shambler. It's just like, yeah, it feels really weird to get all this control and to wait until the last game. We can take Soulwell out then, and we can add in the Shadow Form. Oh, I already have Shadow Form. Probably Spectral Ward then. Maybe, or do we add in like Contamination to pay for some of this stuff? We could add in Soulstorm to help pay for it, because it'll pay for Shadow Form, it'll pay for Devour Soul. It's just payment in this deck, essentially. It doesn't do anything. And we are just discarding combos, so we don't need all of them to be proactive. But we do want combos to just really be beneficial and help us win. Which means actually Record Manifestation we can get rid of for Death Shroud and go really defensive with our combos. That'll feel nice. That'll feel nice. Which means we need a Bloodpact Redeemer. I don't think so. I don't feel like we do. What can we put in for Unaligned here? We could put in a Creeble Monk. Everyone's been using a lot of abilities. Or an Unruly Mob. I feel like the abilities are more potent right now. That would stop our ability swing turn too. Maybe a mob? Maybe a mob? Shield Wall? Could stop us from hyper aggro. Then again, that's the whole point of Unruly Mob. Yeah, maybe Unruly Mob is better. Yeah, like this, it's just, yeah, it feels really weird to try and do something like this. I really want to make it work, but I just don't think it's anywhere near as consistent as any other deck that I'm going to play against on ladder right now. Like any other deck. Because the player base unfortunately is not high enough to have like me going against people in silver. I'm probably going against people in like gold and diamond. So those guys are very hard climbers, and I'm trying out weird and wacky things. Which makes me go, okay, after this, if this doesn't work, we'll try and build... Whoops. We'll try and build the Abyss package version, because I think that one, like I said, will do better. The Abyss package version will do better. We'll do High Curator. Are we going to get card draw in here? But I want to see... I want to see if this Undead version works. I really do. But I feel like it's just the only way to really go with Dread right now is Abyss package, using abilities, because it's just consistent. It's just consistent. It's so consistent, it's hard to keep up with. They have consistent card draw, consistent damage, and healing with the abilities. It's just, there's no reason not to run the Abyss package in Dread. Undead feels like it's getting there, but the Abyss package has been at the top tier for so long. Bjarkan. Okay. We don't have card draw, which is where High Curator would come in nice, because we need card draw. We need the card draw. If it's Crystal Core, might as well just leave. Because if we're going against someone who's just playing stall. Is that for healing purposes? Is it just Cage? Discarding a combo. For Cage Repression? Makes me want to quit. Really does. Cage Repression makes me want to quit the game. Really does, because now he's also running the cages, or not the cages, the mechanical, probably for like Tyrax fixers. Did we really just get a Bug Rider? Did we pull something off this quick? What are the chances to see us Thunderslug? What are the chances to see us Thunderslug? Pretty high? Probably pretty high. I also don't have my item, so I can't pull it off anyway. Oh, this hurts. This hurts me in such a way. Okay, one turn away. One freaking turn away. Alright, well, this is our best shot, and I'm guessing we're going to go against Cage, who's just Cage aggro. Because why not Cage aggro, right? It's just... I can't say much. I don't even want to lay this turn, because I need a combo to go on top for the Stalking Core to really do its thing. So. Alright, we're effectively at 10. What does he have in his hand? Oh no, we're not. We're effectively at 7. Doesn't it feel good? Oh my word! Alright, well, we're doing this. We're going to move that one. And And we need to lay this. Shibes, what is up, man? Amari Bard. You've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me right now. I don't get my Shambler back then. My combo's not on top anymore. No, I'm not doing it. This is so dumb that Cage Repression exists. It literally makes me not want to play the game. It's a card that makes me not want to play this game. We're making a new deck. We're making one with the Abyss package and High Curator Arwen. Because we're those people now. Nope. Yeah, just it's the simple fact that there are cards in this game that make me not want to play the game. It's that simple. It's that simple. Combo. Toxic Haunt. Contamination. Perfect Manifestation. Devour Soul. Death Shroud. Actually, Toxic Haunt can go. We can include Shadow Form. Feels really bad, actually. But it is what it is. Trying to see what's up with LS. You're either playing Cage Oppression, Cage Oppression aggro, or you're playing Abyss, or anything else that's just hyper aggro attacks. No room for anything else in this game, is what I'm seeing. And in a game that literally defines that you can only play 3 types of decks, not a fan of this. Yeah, we need Tantosians. Yeah, Shibes, you caught me at a bad time. I'm trying to build something fun, and there's not enough people that play this game to make it fun. The player base makes it so that you can only play against people who are like going for masters, and I'm in the silver rank, and I'm playing against people who are like diamond and platinum, and I'm trying to just have fun, and they're not allowing it. Abyss Tentacles, Abyss Shades, Abyss Tunnelers. Actually, Tunneler we don't need. But we do need the Hoarders, because that's just good card draw. Stalking Horror is good. Swamp Peddler we need. Shadow Puppet we need. Wall of Bones we'll need. And I guess I don't blame you, man. We want to be consistent. It's Mud Turtle, what's up? Yeah, the like I'm trying to be innovative, and I'm trying to make new decks today. And it's the simple fact that A, the player base is not fast enough to have enough people that just play casually and whatnot anymore. B, the card pool is not diverse enough to allow you to have a vast variety of decks without running into once again, the top three. Like, that's all anyone wants to play in this game is the top three. And if you can't really test out a new deck against a variety of things, and you're like, okay, well, here's a Cage of Oppression deck. That's always going to be better. Here's a Hyper Aggro. That's always going to be better. Like, it's... The card pool... I'm going to rant for a bit. The card pool's terrible. I don't like it. I really don't. It's way too niche. There's only a handful of good cards, which makes deck building very tunnel visioned. Which allows for not a lot of diverse archetypes or metas to come out, and it's terrible. It's terrible. That's it. That's it. You look into any other card game, there's like, every class has a top deck, right? Every class has a top deck you can play. There's some other variations that have better matchups, but the card pool in this is so generic, and it's due to the Awakening cards. That just play those cards and nothing can really beat you other than those cards. Cage of Oppression is one. It's an unaligned card. It can go in any deck. And in all honesty, as much as I love it, they really messed up being able to cross-color the decks with how generic the cards work. Like, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. The action cards all need to be even, which means every action card needs to compete with every action card, which means that building diverse action cards is going to be a nightmare in the future, because with cards that just say 5 damage, those cards are potentially going to be better than any other card you're going to put there, because I just want 5 damage. That's it. There's no scaling of, like, this is a late game card, this is not a late game card. It all depends on when you draw it, because you can lay late game cards first turn with no resources, or what Magic the Gathering has, or Hearthstone, where you have to have a card cost. Every card costs the same, which means every card has to be the same power level. And if every card is the same power level, all you're really looking for is efficiency. So what's the most efficient cards? That's all that you care about. It's just like... They need to rotate out a set. And they've reprinted so many cards into other sets that it's going to be a while for that to happen. I feel Oppression was a quick fix to stall problem, which is fixed by now there's another problem. Yeah. There's certain heroes that are always going to be better than others. You're always going to run into Selene. You're always going to run into High-Cured Arwen. I got 4 booster boxes of Uprising cards that I don't know what to do with. In a sense, Shibes, yeah. I mean, you have all these cards from Uprising, and you look at them and go, I still have Awakening cards that are better. Like, look at this. In this deck right now that I built, this is the only way 5 card. It's because I'm trying it. It's not because it's good. It's because I'm trying it. Every single other one of these cards is from Kindred or Awakening. It's from Kindred or Awakening. Or not Kindred, Mythical or Awakening. I think even... Okay, Contamination is a new one, but I can replace that one. I'm not using it for what it does. But yeah, I could legitimately build a deck that is still top tier competitive, that does not include any of the latest 3 sets. And that hurts me to say. That hurts to say that, is that I can make a deck strictly out of the Mythical and Awakening cards that will get me a top tier deck. There's no rhyme or reason to invest in the other sets, because the first sets are so generic and consistent that the new ones aren't worth getting. Then you guys play Fusion, what their plans are, so OP, and so basically to get in touch with your LGS and try to get them to bring them here. I mean, it look at it and it's hard to say. Spectral Widow Probably the only one, but I can replace Spectral Widow with like a Shambler if I really wanted to. I could do that, hands down, no problem. I don't know, actually, Spectral Widow probably should be traded for Shambler, because Spectral Widow can't be increased by damage, and Shambler can. And the whole point is to... Well, actually, no, I don't need it. I don't need it. Or no, yeah, because Stalking Horror is going to bring in the Spectral Widow. It's just more consistent. It's just more consistent because it's damage that can't be prevented. It hurts. It hurts to say this. It really does. What's your hero? What do you think? I tried Talia. This morning we were trying some fun new things with the new Dread hero, and he was fun. There's some pretty cool fun card interactions where you can get 5 actions in 1 turn. Actually, 6 technically, and it's like, wow, that's ridiculous. And the best way to play him is with the Abyss package, which came out in Awakening. Actually, I think Abyss Shade... Did Abyss Shade come out in Kindred? It might have. I think Abyss Shade came out in Kindred. But yeah, the Abyss package is the best one to run, because it's consistent. It gets you so much value for a card, and that's consistent. But essentially, what we're trying to do, what we're trying to meme is the new card Stalking Horror is, as an interest play, move 1 card from your deck to your discard pile. I'm going to move a combo so that Bug Rider now makes the Stalking Horror hit for 5 and 5. And I get combos in my discard pile for Swamp Peddler. It's just, all around, it's like, it's supposed to be memey. And then, of course, with my Abyss package that stays out there and can't be removed or anything like that, I just, trigger my card draw ability and increase the damage. Is it just my feed freezing? Oh no. It might be you, Mud Turtle. I'm not seeing any frames dropped or anything like that, so it might be on your end. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. But yeah, this is the deck that I've come up with, is the Bug Rider, the Stalking Bug Rider. That, yeah, you run the Abyss package for efficiency, because it is what it is. And then when you Stalking Horror, get a combo on top, and then just use Abyss, or like trigger your abilities, so that all of your Abyss packages trigger for like 3 and 4 and 4. That's just consistent, and it's all because of the Abyss package. It's, like, it hurts, man. It hurts. I'm using my Works connection, so okay, that makes sense. Let me go ahead and we'll save the deck list up here, and we'll try this version. There is no Necro Dreadling. There is no Necro Dreadling. I will put that out there. So if we need Necro Dreadlings, we'll put them in. And essentially just run the Abyss package with a new gimmick that we're trying with the Wave 5 card. Have I decided if I'm playing at Gen Con? I have not yet. I have not yet decided. I know that according to the Gen Con site, only 3 people have bought tickets. So I don't know what that means. I know a lot of people couldn't even find the booth because it was under the Warhammer booth. I did see that. So we'll try this. We'll try going back in. I think we're silver 3 again, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, we're still silver 2. Somehow, some way, we're still silver 2. But no, I have not. What did I call it now? Stalking Bug Rider. Here we go. I have not decided if I'm going to be partaking at the Gen Con tournament. I know me and my friends are doing a lot of other things at the con, so I'm not sure like what all we need to do or what all we're planning on doing. Talavi with a new hero. Okay. Maybe we're facing someone who's playing something fun. Okay. Oops, wrong one. There we go. There's a hello. I think I just pass. Or no, I have a High Carrier Darwin ability. Why would I not use High Carrier Darwin? Yes, I will draw this card indeed. And then I'll draw another card. Bug Rider's one that I need. Okay. Okay. Well, the RPG fell through because their company that they were making it for didn't really want to do much with it. So, it wasn't that they gave up on it. It's that their company they were making it with backed out of the contract. So if they were to continue it, they'd have to do it on their own. Yeah, do this, and I'll trigger my ability. I'll take that card. Yes, I will. Yes, indeedy, I will. Look at this Abyss package go! It's so good when you play Dread and a third of your deck is always the same because it's just that good. Yeah, I did hear that the booth is showing up as Warhammer instead. And I was like, are you for real right now? Like, come on, guys. Get your head in the game. If it's one thing I learned from Zac Efron, it's that you guys got to get your head in the game. 2 blacksmiths. I don't even think I have another item in this deck. I don't need to run 3 blacksmiths if I only have 1 item. So I can change that immediately. Especially with how much card draw I'm getting off of just this hero. Alright, Mud, have a good one at work. Stay frosty, man. Okay. Okay, now I'm just drawing combos. A Bubblefish. Which is fair. Fair to do. Might just do this. Draw 2 cards. No reason for me to waste my abilities on that. Alright, so we have the Stalking Horror. actually. I'm going to want to trigger my ability at least once more so the shade goes away. I really am. Before I do anything. So... Man, it feels kind of bad. I have 2 Shadow Puppets. I think I just need to try and overextend. Thank you, Rocket Star. Okay, there's a tentacle gone. That's fine. We knew that was going to happen. Okay. Don't know why he's thanking me. Swamp Peddler again. Okay. Does he have another Thunder Slug? And this is also a great reason as to why decks like this don't work. Because you're trying to set up a perfect board, and if your opponent just messes it up a little bit, your deck doesn't work, and their consistency is just going to kill you. There are so many things that need to change in this game to really help diversify the meta. And it comes down to all of the cards that read the same throughout, like all the 5 damage cards need to go. Buff removal needs to change entirely. There's so much about this game that, in my strong-hearted opinion, it needs to be changed. I'll draw that one. Yeah, there's so much about this game that essentially does need to be changed to allow decks to diversify. Thunderslug, okay. which is fair. I don't know why he's saying thanks all the time. So there goes 2 tentacles down. And I have no Graveyard Recursion in this Dread deck. Because I'm trying to set up for big turns. Okay. Vortex Plains. This is an elemental, isn't it? Yep. So yeah, if I can find another Thunderslug here, I'll be fine. I'll be set. Or not a Thunderslug, a Shadow Puppet. Okay. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. Playing a water card, so we can restart it. What's your play? Stormwall. I don't necessarily think it's a broken mechanic. It's probably one of the only ones that makes decks outside of consistency viable. If you took away that mechanic, a lot of stuff just wouldn't work. Like, there'd be no reason to build any of these other fun decks. It does feel broken as you can have huge swing turns like that. The same card should not trigger twice in the same turn. Only under a certain condition does it. Like, it's not like, hey, you can do it like anytime you want. You literally have to have the perfect condition for it. And I do not have buff removal for that, so that's the third Thunderslug gone. That is the third slug gone. Okay, only 2 combos. I can't attack him. Unless he attacks me. A bubblefish. Alright. And a Vortex Plains. I have to keep that. Am I just dead? I could just be dead. So let's spin this forward. Dealing. Yep. Okay. Yeah. That was a cool deck. I'll admit that. That was a cool deck. It was different. It was unique. I like it. But mind you, that deck, it relied on swing turns. Looking at it now, if you just go heavy aggression on it, I don't think there's much it can do. Its only healing it has is Delivery Crab and Drenching Droplet. It has Guard Snail, but like it didn't have any healing. And my deck was super slow. Like I was trying for a gimmick, and his deck was consistent slow, where mine was not consistent. But yeah, Weaving Minstrel with Thunderslug. It shouldn't exist. It shouldn't exist. The... Yeah. If you kill the Puddle Volters, this deck does nothing. That's why he was saying thanks for me killing his Thunderslugs. If you kill the Puddle Volter, this deck is nothing. And it utilizes that because Thunderslug is the buff removal on a buff. So if you ever like run into this deck again, kill the Puddle Volter. That's all you gotta do, is kill the Puddle Volter. Outside of that, like Spark Wisp into the Vortex Plains, but its Puddle Volter is what gives it the huge swing turns. Because outside of that, it's defense, defense, defense. If you kill the Puddle Volter, you shut down the deck. There's nothing it can do. It's got, combos for damage-wise, but if you shut down the Puddle Volter, 99% of this deck is defensive. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 attack cards. Gust Frog, it's an air buff that deals 3 when it comes into play. But shut down the Puddle Volter, and this deck loses so much momentum. It loses so much momentum. I did not need all of those. Probably had a third Spectral Widow. I hate that Legacy is auto on. I hate that. Shouldn't be that way. Should be auto off. If it's for your standard mode, you shouldn't include your Legacy cards. We saw it 3 times in 4 turns. Yeah, it's because the deck is built to do that. What I'm saying is, you don't see it in every deck. It's a deck specifically designed to do something like that, Wrangler Thor. That's like saying Abyss Tentacle, right? It's an interaction where it works with abilities. Yeah, you see it 3 or 4 times, but the deck is designed to do that. It's designed to work around that interaction and abuse it in a sense. Oh, I'm constantly comparing this to other CCGs. Constantly. Which, in my opinion, all cards like this need to go. I don't want any more normal vanilla 5 damage cards in my game. I believe buff removal needs to go and be changed entirely, because the core of each alignment should not be the exact same as every other alignment out there. If they're diversifying this card game, they need to step away from anything and everything that was made in Awakening. They need to just burn it all and start over. Like, I feel like it's just like the game frustrates me because there is no diversification, in my opinion, due to a handful of cards. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just getting frustrated. Constantly going into the same 3 or 4 types of decks, no matter the alignment. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. But yeah, this game, the game itself needs a huge diversification in its card pool. We're starting to get that. We're starting to see that a lot. It's the simple fact that I don't think it'll take hold until we get rotation, until we get set rotations. Where do we put the reset button? Apparently we lost it next to the That's Easy button. I think what this game needs to start doing, and it is, it needs to start making more cards for at least the attack cards. Attack cards need to be based on the board state, either yours or your opponent's. Defend cards need to be more based on your board state, either yours or your opponent's. Buff removal needs to be entirely changed. Needs to be entirely changed. In the sense where I think the only card removal that we should have left is the Loot Snatcher, where it's a conditional buff removal. I think all cards like Shadow Puppet, like Thunder Slug, all of those need to go. We need to go more into the how each alignment handles buffs is unique. I think that tech should be left alone with it can rotate your opponent's buffs forward. That's how it gets rid of them. With time, like that's its thing, right? Storm is doing really nice things with keeping things dormant. You know, your opponent's buffs are dormant for so many turns. Then you that's fine. It really fits with the aesthetic that they're trying to go with, but legitimately having each class just be able to remove a buff, it defines what decks work and what decks don't. It defines it. Now I'm not saying that we should get rid of everything and change it all over. I'm simply saying that cards need to leave, and we need to work on these improved and new mechanics for the game. Otherwise, I don't see a reason why anyone would buy any new cards, because the old ones are working way better than the new ones. That's it. That's the plain and simple truth of it. I don't see any reason to keep buying new cards when my cards that I've owned for 2 years, since Awakening, are what's still winning me games. And that's sad to say. That's sad to say that there's no reason to buy new cards because the old cards are still working just as effective. And it does have to do with the simple fact that each action card has to be equivalent to every other action card. There's no scaling. There's no this one costs 6 delay and this one costs 2 delay. So that's where the power scale comes in. There's none of that in this game because every card consists of one action cost. And it's very unique to a game to do that. And I will admit, it makes it really difficult to make some of these cards, which is why it needs a set rotation. It needs set rotations. It needs to rotate out things so we can have different ways of handling the board state. We need to have more player-to-player interactivity in this game. The only way to do that is with the buff removal. But if all the buff removal is the same, then every alignment interacts the exact same with every alignment, and that just gets really boring. There needs to be a hindrance on what your attack and defend cards do based on the board state. Because otherwise buffless aggro is just going to always be a thing. And it's fine if there is. It's fine if there is. But it should not have the same control or dominance that, a heavy buff deck has. The game is fun. The game is fun to think and theory craft decks. But there's no reason to if the same 5 decks are what's always going to work. And I could just be a bad deck builder. I could just be a bad deck builder and not realize all the fun things you can do in this game. And maybe it's just the fact that all the things that I want to do are terrible. Maybe. But I've honestly not had fun with this game for a while now. No, it's fine. It's fine. I didn't want to say this like open and on air, um, but yeah, I've not been having fun with Lightseekers for a while. I've only played it in stream, and I've been streaming it because I'm the only streamer left in the game, and I felt like I owed an obligation to you guys to keep the game going. Because the game is fun. Was fun. I met a lot of cool people in it. It's just a lot of people have left. I can see why. A lot of people are still here. Um, but I honestly I've been having more fun talking and theory crafting and like coming up with ways to change the game or to diversify it or new card mechanics to add in than I have with actually playing the game. And it's be and it, like I'm not saying it's bad that way. I've been seeing Discord and a lot of people are making really fun decks. A lot of people have been having a lot of fun with it. So maybe I'm just not a good deck builder. Maybe that's what it is. Um, or maybe it's because I haven't been playing the game as much to know the game as much. But I haven't been intrigued to play the game as much as I used to. Um, a lot of the new card hypes that I've been getting for the past few sets feel diminished after a week when you find out that they don't work that well compared to Awakening and Mythical cards. I would play Draft all day. I would play Draft all day in this game because I'm not a constructed player. I'm not. I'm really not. I would play Draft all day in this game. But they need to change the way Draft works. There is no reason with how the card pool is that you can't get gold off the cards you own in Draft. You can get it off in Adventure mode. Even the pre-constructed decks in Adventure mode, if you own the cards, you get gold off of them. They need to fix Draft mode, and then I'll keep playing. Draft mode is what I love to do. I love the consistency of that. I'm not a constructed deck builder. I really am not. Um, but yeah, if they fix Draft mode, I'll play Draft mode every stream. That's all I'll do. It's just the rewards for it are not good. There's no ranking in Draft mode that is worth it. Feels sad. Feels sad. Um, yeah. I'm probably gonna end the stream early because I don't feel like playing anymore. It. If I'm not playing one of the top 4 or 5 decks, why play? We can't test and see if anything else really works. We tried, but the card pool is not diverse enough to make it so that like if I was going against say Mountain, I wouldn't have to worry about the same buff removal or the same buff control that I would be going against Storm or Dread. They need to really start to find. Actually, you know what? For the last few minutes before I leave, we'll go into this. We'll go into this so I can talk to you guys a little bit. Um, since we were talking about Draft, have you made a video on Draft? If not, you should. PlayFusion will probably see it. I think I did a little while ago, actually. I think I did make a video on Draft and my opinions on how it should change and all that stuff. But like, yeah, draft needs to come back. It's a fun mode. It's an amazing mode. It's very unique, and I feel it'll pull a lot of the player base in compared to constructed. But the incentive to play it is not there. The rewards are not there. The turnaround is not there. I even made a small snippet video that the rewards are incremental and not exponential. And in my opinion, the only good reward is gold. So if you lose one game in a draft, leave the draft, you'll get that same chest, the same silver one, which is actually like the same equivalent as gold and bronze and all that stuff. It's because it's the same level. Each level is different, and unique. So if you just leave at like silver 2 instead of going into bronze 2, because they're the same chest, I found out they're the same exact reward chest. It's the gauntlet that's the only thing that matters. The gauntlet is the only thing that matters for your rewards to be good. So if you lose one game in a draft, stop your draft right there and leave. The only good reward is gold. And I think that's a problem. I think that's a huge problem in their game's reward system. That if you literally go like 5-0 and lose one game and you go to 5-1, just, oh, okay, I didn't make it to gold, decline my draft, go back and go for gold. Because I went into a silver draft and I didn't get a draft ticket. Like, I got into my silver gauntlet and I didn't get a draft ticket. Like, that's the whole point of making it to a gauntlet, is to re-get that prize back, to feel like you've accumulated something. And I didn't. I really didn't. And the reward, their incentive needs to change. But quick, yeah, before I head out super early on this, sorry about that. Sorry, by the way. I wanted to play. I'll be streaming tomorrow, but I probably won't be streaming Lightseekers. I'm sorry. I do apologize, but I probably won't be, because the game needs to change several things. The first thing it needs to do, is it needs to bring back how. Let me see if I can actually open this up. Into the Lightseekers. Into Lightseekers itself. Can we shrink me down just a little bit? There we go. Let's do this. Into this right here. This is essentially, how do I get that out of the way? There we go. That way the thing isn't in the way. This is essentially what each alignment is supposed to do. This is what each one should feel like, right? Mountain, the jack of all trades order, strong combos and defensive sustained protection. Storm has ways to play cheaper, more powerful combos, and also a good threat at dealing with buff threats. Dread overwhelms the target with damage over time effects while suppressing their ability to fight back. So like healing and whatnot. Packs a bigger punch than most other orders, but also puts you in the greater danger. Nature gains most powerful when it carefully tends to its buffs and draws strength from the state of its opponent. Astral. What is at the top of your discard pile and is what is coming next from the deck is of great importance. From reading these, Mountain, jack of all trades, should be the base, damage, healing. That's where it should be. We should not see 6 healing, 5 damage cards in Storm, in Tech, in Astral, in Dread. We should not see them there. Because the thing that makes Mountain unique is that we should not see the exact same thing in 4 to 5 other alignments. Storm. You don't see everything dealing well with combos outside of Storm. Awesome. Has a good at dealing with buff threats. I don't know. Mountain, Dread, Tech, and Astral all can deal with buff threats about the same as Storm, with buff removal. It's a very small deck. They all have equivalent dealing with buff threats. That doesn't feel unique to Storm anymore. Dread, damage over time, feels good. Yeah, it's what it does. It does ticking damage. And negates healing. Yeah. They've also gone in and gave it some very nice heavy-hitting cards. Like 5 attack damage cards. It's losing... They're losing the uniqueness. They're losing the aesthetic of the alignments. Because the cards they've made make them all the same exact thing. And they're starting to branch out. They're starting to. But their original card pool literally makes it feel like every deck could be the same. And I think I proved that with my Buffless Aggro for all 6 orders. They were all the same deck. Tech can pack a bigger punch, but it's a danger to yourself. There's no longer a danger to yourself anymore. It has some of the best healing and the strongest attacks. It once again, it feels like just a better mountain. It feels like a better mountain. Why? What's the aesthetic to Tech? That in my strong opinion, like I said, there's several things. I should make a YouTube video about this. There's several things that need to happen. All of the base, like 6 healing, 5 damage cards, like all those things need to be gone. They need to leave. In my opinion, they are defining every order, and you should not have that. You shouldn't have that. If you're going to have a base thing, have it in an unaligned card. Have it be an unaligned card. Non-family unaligned card. And then have all your unique attacks and all your unique defense in the order that make them feel unique. Okay? Have it be that way. Storm. Like I said, Storm's way to handle with buffs should be with Dormancy. Nature's way to deal with buffs could be something along the lines of, like, you know, because Nature's about having a wide board. It could have something to do with your board state. Like, hey, if you have more buffs than me, which is really weird in Nature, then maybe you can manipulate that. Like, obviously you can swap buffs around. Just something to make it feel like Nature is doing its course. Tech should be about spinning them forward or backward, controlling the rotations, but not just straight up removing them. Because removing them means like, oh, hey, you know, I removed a buff that you were trying to go off of. And if you're legitimately removing cards that some decks rely on, like I said, the Storm deck that I just ran into, if I remove Puddle Vaulter, if I save the removal for Puddle Vaulter, that deck is dead. It's dead in the water. All you got to do is just out heal its somewhat decent damage, but remove Puddle Vaulter, and it's lost so much of its damage. That's where 90%, that's like 80% of its damage comes from one buff. You remove that buff, the deck is gone. Dread. Dread is really good with Graveyard Recursion. So maybe what Dread does is Dread, like, swaps a buff with one in their discard pile. It doesn't necessarily remove it. It just says, hey, you're using this buff now. Or something along those lines. Or, like, you have to give it one of your buffs. Like, you swap one of their buffs with one of yours from the discard pile, so that you have to go against one of your cards. I don't know necessarily how it would do it, or, like, how to go about it, but it drives me mad that every alignment literally just flat out removes it. I have never seen a card game where every single color removes things the same way. I've played Eternal. Eternal literally in every alignment does not have a kill a unit. It doesn't have it. It has a lot of cards that say kill a unit, but their cost differs, their color differs. Like, there's a lot of differentiation to it. That every single order does not need a card that says remove. They need to rework how they remove it, right? In Magic the Gathering, red doesn't have a kill a unit. It has damage to the unit. Green doesn't have kill a unit. It has this unit, like, deals damage to another unit, which is a board state thing. Nature could simply have, like, Nature is wide on board, right? Nature's wide on board. Nature could say, and a lot of theirs are consistent buffs, but Nature could just have, choose one of your buffs. If the corner value on your buff is larger than one of your opponent's, remove that buff. So your buff interacted with another opponent's buff. Like, they could do that. They could, like, Dread could have something along the lines of, obviously because it's graveyard based, it could be like, they could have an undead removal type of thing, right? Where, the removal is based on your undead cards in your discard pile. You get to remove, the card is like, remove one buff that has corners fewer than the amount of undead buffs in your discard pile. They could do that and have an undead removal. It's just like, because they're so generic, that the best way to make a control is to slice in other buff removal cards from other buff removal alignments, rather than just have a different way of removing them that feels unique. Astral, I feel like Astral's in the right way to do it, but that's another thing. I don't think there should be ever a card that can remove more than one. More than one. I do not think there should be a card that removes more than one. Which is why I'm fine with Nature. But removing 2 buffs at a time is ridiculous on value. I was actually fine with Tex, like, remove one of your buffs to remove one of their buffs. Because at least it was board interactive. At least it was that. And the damaging cards, like I said, the damaging should not be 5 damage flat out. It shouldn't. You can have a 4 damage card in unaligned and have it be fine. You can remove all those and you'd have a lot more card pool opened up. Mountain could stick with having like a 4 damage card because it's, like I said, very generic. Storm could be, I don't know. You could lead it into based off your beast buffs, based off your elemental. They already have a lot of cards in there that are based off the buff, the way the board state is, the how many combos in your discard pile, all those things. And all Swamp Peddler should not be in Dread. Swamp Peddler should have made for Storm because it interacts with combos. That feels more of a Storm card than a Dread card. It really does. I don't know why it's in there. And it shouldn't be 4, it should be 3. Like, there's no reason a card should do 9 damage to you. That's ridiculous. But there's so many things that I'm not thoroughly convinced on. And I've seen plenty of decks out there. Like, I've been looking at decks that people have been making, and there's maybe 1 or 2 new additions to cards that are not from Kindred or not Kindred, Awakening or Mythical. And I just look at it and go, because why? Why would you run anything else, right? The game has become too generic for me until a set rotation comes out, where it's hard to branch off and make new deck builds that don't always just include the Awakening and Mythical cards. They're doing fine on making some of these new cards be really cool and really interactive in the game. But it's, like I said, it's until the older cards get rotated out, we won't see that change. And because they've all been reprinted into Kindred and Uprising, they're not going away for a long time. So yeah. The alignments don't feel unique to me. They really don't. And it's because of how generic attacks and defends are, how consistent the generic ones are, and how there is cards that read almost the same, or if not the same, across more than 3 alignments. There's no reason for it. Damage prevention is very generic too. Damage prevention should also be included, like, because Bubblefish is the way it is, there's no reason to make different cards like Bubblefish. Because it just prevents it right up. Where if they got rid of Bubblefish and they started making new cards like the Mari Protector or whatever, where it's increases or decreases the first damage, but your opponent has a way to interact with it, or if they made it so that like the damage prevention is equal to the number of elementals in your discard pile for like the next 2 corners, something like that, where they really need to start diversifying the way damage prevention is, so that you can like really utilize a lot of these other cards. I'm fine with generic cards that are like minuscule power level that you can use in every deck, but a lot of these base cards shouldn't be the same value in every deck that you play. Because that's not diversifying the meta. That is not diversifying the meta. It's like, oh, you need damage prevention. All right, Bubblefish. Include Bubblefish. It's not, hey, I need damage prevention. Well, what deck are you playing? You're playing a beast deck? Okay, this is the better one for a beast deck, as opposed to this one that runs elementals, or this one that runs water buffs. So you need, like, diversifying that will make it incredibly unique to build decks, and utilize why these cards need to be gathered and collected. That how generic the game started out and how diversified the card pool is starting to become, there's no reason to diversify your card pool when the generic cards are, quote unquote, the same value as these newer cards that are coming because they're all costing one action. They're all costing one action to do. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Tomorrow I'll be probably playing Eternal. Tomorrow I like Eternal. I'll be playing Eternal until Gen Con. Yeah. I'll if you guys are at Gen Con, I will see you there. I'll probably be around the Lightseekers booth every once in a while. Probably not the entire time. But the game needs to diversify, needs to change, needs to rotate out its card pool. Because for the same 2, almost 3 years now, the Abyss package has been the best thing to do in Dread. Shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't. Spark Wisp and Thunder Slug have been the best things to do in Storm. Mountain Fort, Enchanted Soil, Firebat or Flamebat have been the best thing to do in Mountain. Tyrax Fixer, Tyrax Mercenary, all those things have been the best thing to do in Tech. Nature, I feel like has been the one to diversify the most, but it's because Nature has never had the same as the other 5. It never had a 6 healing. It never had a 5 damage. Nature was actually unique from the beginning. And I loved it. And it's played the least because it does not have the same card pool as the other 5. Therefore, you can't run 5 attack cards. You can't run 6 healing. The consistent good cards, you can't run them. So Nature has been in the downfall. And Astral, Chimchu Militant, Dusk Feeder, Blinding Beetle, Chimchu Infiltrator, all those things have been run consistently in every deck. Until the card pool diversifies and changes. I don't know, I think I'm going to put Lightseekers on hold. I will keep up with the card pool. I'll keep up with talking about it. Draft needs to change for me to come back and play it. But yeah, I haven't been having fun with Lightseekers for a while because it's the same 5 decks that I've been running into. Like I said, if I wanted to build the same 5 decks and climb ladder, that doesn't interest me because I'll be facing the same 5 decks. If the deck pool was unique and diverse, then every new game would feel different. But it's not. Every new game feels like, okay, I gotta watch out for a Spark Wisp or a Flamebat or a Chimchu Militant. I gotta watch out for just a 5 damage card. That doesn't spread uniqueness to me. I think there's a lot they can do with this game. I think there is with the card pool, with all the mechanics they're starting to introduce. We'll see how Wave 5 comes out. But sad to say, until then, I'll probably just stream Eternal. Because I've been having a lot more fun with Eternal. Even though I don't own nearly any cards in Eternal, I own every card in this game. I've lost my investment in it. Like I said, I'll still keep tabs on it because it's still a fun game, and I'm hoping for the best. But yeah, I think I'm gonna shelf Lightseekers for a while until we see how Wave 5 comes out at least. But in that, I'll just stream Eternal. Eternal's a lot more fun. Eternal's a lot more diverse. There's a lot more things to do in Eternal, in my opinion. And I don't have all the cards, so it's something I need to collect on anyway. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for being here. I know I only have 3 viewers. It is during the day. It's not my usual stream time. But yeah, the game is unique. It has a lot of things that can be improved upon. I'll just have to wait and see, I guess. So I'll be there with you, waiting and seeing. So, guys, thank you very much for tuning into the stream. Thank you guys very much for hanging out and for following me. Tune in tomorrow, same time. We'll be playing some Eternal. Should be a lot of fun. I've been climbing. I've actually been having fun climbing and ranked in Eternal too. So we'll be doing that. We'll see what happens. So thank you guys very much. I'm sorry I didn't stream for the next 2 hours, but there's only so much I can take before it just gets frustrated with this game. I'm sorry. Thank you guys very much. See you guys tomorrow. Hopefully.